Hey guys, Austin here, and welcome back to another Minecraft mod showcase video here on the channel. Today we are checking out the Born in Chaos mod update version 1.6, also known as the Chilling Horror event for Minecraft version 1.20.1. If you guys have not seen the showcase for this mod before, this is a massive mod that's a bunch of new structures, mobs, enemies, mechanics into your world of Minecraft. It's probably one of the best currently updating mods that is out there, in my humble opinion. It's definitely worth taking a look into if you have not seen it before. But today we're going to go over its Christmas event. Of course, if you guys have been enjoying the mod showcase content on the channel, be sure to leave me a like, subscribe if you do, and let's get into this Born in Chaos mod. So, changes during the action of terrifying presence. Special particles will now appear around the stalker enemy, which is this guy right here. So he will get these sort of particle enemies displaying the approximate radius of this ability. Also, now when receiving damage, you will visually see the effect of drying. So the stalker enemy is something that can only happen during nighttime, but you can kind of see him as I'm trying to spawn him in there. But we're just going to ignore him right now. That is the only regular change. Now on to the actual event itself. So the feature of this event, the event will last until January 14th. During this event, the zombies and skeletons will now be able to spawn equipped with the creepy snowman head and a candy cane sword. I couldn't actually find the candy sword, but it can also spawn with a nutcracker hammer and the nutcracker head. Undead with a snowman head and candy sword will freeze opponents or freeze players with their attacks, and undead with the nutcracker sword will have a chance of knocking players' helmets off their head when attacking, which will be indicated by a special sound. These features will make regular monsters more dangerous. As a reward for killing them, you'll get a creepy gift. So first up, let me see if we can actually get some of these guys to spawn in. Yeah, as you can see, there some of them are with the candy cane sword and their head skeletons. As you can see, nutcrackers with the hammers also spawning with the sword and whatnot. So the head you can actually get and place down. Same with the nutcracker head. Pretty terrifying. And then of course the hammer itself, which I'll be going over a little bit later because there's other ways to acquire that. So again, pretty terrifying ways of getting this. Where did these come from? I'm not going to ask. Anyway, so here is the creepy gift. This is not craftable. This is another drop that you have a chance of getting by defeating these enemies. So the creepy gift can only be obtained during the event. When opened, it will drop random items. The higher your naughtiness level, the worse the items you will receive. At the maximum value, you will not receive anything except coal. So if I right click this, as you can see, I just got some spiritual gingerbread and some dark metal nuggets. I'll open this again. As you can see, again, cookies with milk, permafrost shards, and snow blocks. So these are a lot of the items that are in this update I'll be going over later in the video. But as you can see, there's a bunch of very good items you can get. You can even get the nutcracker hammer itself from this. You can get a sniffer egg, which is pretty crazy. A chocolate heart. Let's see if we can get anything else crazy. Some blue ice, more cookies, more gingerbread. And I want to see if I can get anything else special. Sweet berries. There's a bunch of cool, unique items that you can get from that gift. And if you guys are playing the mod regularly, hop in right now and get this gift while you can, because it gives you a lot of cool items. So in terms of innovations, the creepy snowman head and creepy nutcracker head are new decorative blocks that you can obtain. I've already shown them off. A new obedience mechanic. The mechanics are similar to how it works in DST. Now, for doing bad things, you will receive naughtiness points, namely killing animals and villagers. For killing animals in whose death there is no practice benefit, such as a sniffer, more naughtiness points will be awarded the larger number of points you receive for killing baby animals or villagers. You can reduce the number of naughtiness points for such actions by fertilizing plants, taming animals. Every time you accumulate enough naughtiness points, you will hear a sound of Krampus approaching, which will indicate your bad behavior. After a certain value, 2 Krampus henchmen will appear in your world and act as a warning. If you accumulate the maximum number of naughtiness points, then Krampus himself will come to you and attack you. If you do not kill the Krampus and do not correct your behavior, the Krampus will come again for every next bad action. When killing a Krampus, the amount of naughtiness points you will be reduced by 15% the maximum value, which is all pretty crazy. And keep in mind, it's not saying there's any way to actually view the naughtiness level. So you're going to have to just keep track of that based on the cues. So let's actually show off the Krampus henchmen. So this is what Krampus henchmen look like. They have 25 health, 5 armor bars. They're little goat enemies. They're pretty terrifying. So Krampus henchmen are nimble, annoying enemies that can be encountered in cold biomes or if you misbehave. Krampus can also summon them as his minions. The minions have a chance to knock your weapon out of your hands when they attack. When they receive damage, they begin to panic a little, running away from the player, only to attack again. So that is their power. So I'm actually going to see if we can get this to work. So I'm going to wield another right sword. Let's see how this goes. So yeah, he immediately hit me, knocked my weapon out of my hand. And yeah, they literally, every time they hit you, they will knock the weapon out of your hand. And I realized that none of my spawn points then, of course. But yeah, that is pretty crazy for an enemy like that. The only time I've ever seen a mob that has the ability to take your weapons in the past, in my modding experience, was during the, what was the mod called? The Farlanders mod. So the fact that that is a thing for these enemies to actually do to you is pretty crazy. But let's actually check out the big bad Krampus himself. This is him. 250 health, 10 armor bars. He is terrifying. So the Krampus enemy is counted as a mini boss that can be very rarely encountered in cold biomes after the 10th night, or you can force him to come to you if you accumulate your 9 points. Krampus is a rather dangerous opponent that is better not to be met with without proper preparation. His strong attacks have a chance of knocking all items out of your hand, but if you block a strong attack of Krampus, he will cause serious damage to your shield. During the fight, Krampus will summon his minions, who we just went over, who will attack you, also try and knock weapons out of your hands. When Krampus loses enough health, he will roar and summon a small snowstorm around him. The snowstorm will freeze everyone around him, gradually slowing them down and dealing damage as it freezes. You will have to keep your distance wisely to avoid freezing to death after the snowstorm ends. Krampus can summon it again after some time. When you die, when you defeat a Krampus, you can get its horn and bag. So I'm going to attempt, keyword here, attempt, to actually fight Krampus really quickly. Let me give myself some netherite armor because, well, you know we're gonna need it. All right, let's do this. I just want to see. He knocks the weapon out of my hand. So yeah, as you can see, literally every time he hits you, he has a chance of knocking the weapon out of your hand, and that can get pretty crazy. So you're gonna have to kite him a lot and focus heavily on not getting hit. And I'm actually doing a pretty good job right now. He has a pretty big hitbox, but of course, like I said, oh, there's his snowstorm attack. Oh, he hit me with snowstorm and knocked the weapon out of my hand. Yeah, you're pretty much screwed once you lose your weapon because he's gonna defeat you. All right, I defeated the Krampus minion, but yeah, he is just too strong. I'm gonna go back into creative and go from there. But if you actually do defeat Krampus, you will get something called Krampus's bag. When opened, in addition to coal, it gives you a random rare item, most often items related to other mini bosses from the mod. So let's open it. So he gave me coal, a nightmare stalker skull, a pile of dark metal, a pumpkin staff, and a nut hammer. Let's do one more. So this time he gave me some spiritual gingerbread, the orb of the summoner, and some coal. Again, if you guys play the mod often, you'll probably know what some of those items actually are, but I think it's pretty cool. You can actually get a Krampus's bag, and again, it's just one of the many drops he can give you. He can also give you Krampus's horns, some permafrost shards, some pieces of dark metal, and some monster flesh, which can be used for other things. So let's move on to the Stormcaller's horn. So the Stormcaller's horn is crafted with some permafrost shards, Krampus's horn himself, and the dark metal. So the Stormcaller's horn can be crafted with the Krampus horn. It can blow. You can blow into it to summon a small snowstorm around you, similar to what he did. So again, as you can see, we got ourselves a little snowstorm here. The storm will gradually freeze enemies around you, slowing them more and more, and deal frost damage over time. After using the horn, it goes into a cooldown like any other horn that exists in Minecraft, and its durability is about 150. So you can use the horn 150 times before you have to turn it off. And even without the horn in my inventory anymore, the storm still follows me around, which is really cool. So the permafrost shard, let's talk about that. So the permafrost shard can be obtained by killing Krampus or his minions, and it can be used to craft several of the items that we're going to be going over. Next up, we have another new weapon, the frostbitten sword. It does 6 attack damage. It is crafted with a bone handle, a dark metal ingot, and a bunch of permafrost shards. So the sword attacks when attacking will freeze targets, applying a bone-chilling effect to them. For each repeated strike on the target, it will be strengthened, so you continuously will stack the chilling effect. The effect itself, in addition to frostbite, slows down the target. And the strength of the frostbite and slowdown depends on the level of the effect, which is pretty crazy. So after that, we have something known as Icy Sweetness, which is this weapon right here. It does 6 attack damage. It is a customization for the Frostbitten Blade. It's completely identical in all aspects. So literally, all you have to do is take the Frostbitten Blade, give it a transformation flower and some sugar, and you will turn to the Icy Sweetness. It literally does the exact same thing the Frostbitten Blade does. It's just the other sort of texture, or you could say a wrap for it. After that, we have the elixir of the ice barrier. It is created by brewing the permafrost shards into chaos components, and you acquire 1 of them each time for 3 minutes. When consumed, it grants an ice barrier effect, which will increase your resistance stat, will also freeze any enemy around you. The more the enemy attacks you, and the more they freeze. So a very cool effect. It's similar to, of course, the horn, but this one is more like a permanent effect on yourself. Next up, we have the Nut Hammer, which I don't know what happened to mine, but the Nut Hammer can be obtained by gifts in Krampus's bag. Each attack with this weapon will have a chance to knock off the target's headdress. So if they're wearing a helmet, if they're wearing a custom head or anything, it will knock that off. Creepy Cookies and Milk. So Creepy Cookies and Milk do not have a crafting recipe, but they are obtained by several things we've shown already. When eaten, it removes all potion effects from you and also lowers your naughtiness intake by 5 units, allowing you to adjust for more flexibility. You can craft it. It says later you'll be able to craft this. So again, pretty cool item. After that, we have the Spiritual Gingerbread. So when eaten, removes the magic depletion effect and also increase your naughtiness indicator by 5. So this will actually increase your naughtiness level, allowing you to adjust for more flexibility. And again, it says it can be crafted later, but right now it's one of the drops, as we have seen. And of course, there's been added a bunch of new advancements or achievements, for this update if you do certain things. And also the last thing they said was Happy New Year and Happy other winter holidays. So this mod's winter update is pretty crazy. I'm not entirely sure how this is going to work after the 14th, because it said this event is only lasting until January 14th within the mod. I assume after that, anything you acquired from this update will still be available to you. It's just the stuff will not spawn anymore. But we'll have to see how that goes. Otherwise, that is going to do it for this mod showcase. If you guys enjoyed, consider leaving me a like, subscribing if you're new. If you want to check out some other videos I've done, the Born and Chaos mod, it'll be in the top right hand corner. Again, this is a pretty amazing mod. I recommend looking into it for anyone who likes massive mods in your Minecraft world that change up your experience quite a bit. And I hope to see you all in the next video. Have a great day, everyone. Stay safe and goodbye.